Hi, this is Greg Trippy, and this is a radio analysis of a reading program in my school district for Grand Canyon University in our brain-based learning technology class 520. So there is no part of the brain that specializes in reading. Uh, this is why it makes it so tough for students to learn how to read. And it's the hardest thing as a human being that we can do. The written language was an invention by humans. So this is not natural for the human brain. Um, But if you go back to when you're a newborn or newborns in general, um, neurons are already making connections that can respond to all different languages in the world. They have a clean slate. Um, there are over 200 sounds that human can make. Um, those little parts are called phonemes. Using the example of get, there's three different phonemes. And if you put them all together, that makes a word. Um, our left part of the brain, when we're reading, understands literal interpretation words and recognition of words, letters, and numbers. The way the brain does that is the visual processing system can scan the printed word, the auditory process system sounds it out in our head, and our frontal lobe integrates the information to produce meaning. The angular gyrus helps to decode the visual word recognition signals for further processing in the left hemisphere's language centers. All that happens when we're reading and we're recognizing words and trying to decode words. It happens in a fraction of a second. We don't even realize it when we're reading, but that happens. So in our English language, there are 44 different sounds in our language that put together our English language. So that brings us to what we're doing in my school district. We have something called System 44. I bring up the 44 different sounds because that's what System 44 is named after, the 44 different sounds in our English language. It is published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. Very hard to say. With me, I'm not so familiar with it. It's used a lot by our special ed teachers in the class, certainly in our classes that are in the resource room, our cognitively disabled classes. But some of our inclusion teachers use that too, or inclusion special ed teachers. System 44 is a lower version of System 180 if you are familiar with System or Read 180. Again, talking like my language arts teacher I did inclusion with this year, but really wasn't a reading program that we used in our class. Same thing when I taught 8th grade. There wasn't really something there. But so I interviewed a teacher who's familiar with it. She's used it now for 2 years. And she says that it has worked. She's seen improvement from 5th grade to 8th grade. Our building's from 5th to 8th, and you can see that improvement with learners on how to read. The way it works, there's 3 different stations. The first one's on the computer, and the kids go on the computer every day. It builds fluency, spelling, decoding. It works with nonsense words where the kids can practice sounding out words, word recognition. There's a book on the computer every day that they read. So they pick a book out on a Monday, we'll say the first day, and they listen to an audio of it. The second day, they read with a partner. The third day, they read by themselves, and they do vocabulary and comprehension questions about the book. The fourth day, they read the book and do a graphic organizer. And then the last day, the fifth day on a Friday, they take a quiz, and they must get an 80% or higher. I think the one teacher I talked to, she said that she gives the kids 4 chances to get an A. So then there's a teacher-directed reading lesson. This is the big one, and this is why I go back to talking about those phonemes. This talks about breaking down the word into different phonemes, and she teaches different rules, long vowel, short vowel, word families. Like if you have the word saw, what other words can you come up with? You take the letter S away. You come with law, raw. And it just talks about those different phonemes and stuff. And this System 44 is for our really low learners. It is like almost like in a real big intervention for these kids who need that help in reading. It's such a big thing now. This improves their reading skills. You have a lot of kids who've never been able to read, and they start using this program, and they're able to read now. It's such a big thing, and I'm after learning more about this, I'm happy that our school district has that. So, all right. Well, I hope you learned something about System 44, and thank you for watching.